Hello everyone and welcome back to another Cozied In book reading. We are continuing with the lore and literature associated with the mods from Vicken. Mostly, specifically Vigilant and Glenmoral, also Unslad. We don't currently have anything included from his newest works, Dakota. We're focusing on the lore that's already there from the others. But we are looking today at another small collection of works revolving around Jabal the cat. So grab yourselves a tankard of mead, pull up a bench by the fire, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos, as it really helps to support our little channel. But now let us proceed with Roly Poly, Jabal the cat. This being one of the nursery rhymes of Amaquina in Elsewhere. Roly Poly, Jabal the cat, kitten born of the red moon. He is old since birth. Roly Poly, he laughs and laughs. Roly Poly, Jabal the cat, the red stone in the rift of Amaquina. He is rejuvenated with every moonlit night. Roly Poly, he laughs, he laughs. Roly Poly, Jabal the cat, the more he jumps, the more he is chased. Even when the king of Amaquina beheads him. Roly Poly, he laughs, he laughs. And next we have a short tale from Jabal and the chickens. Prefaced initially with the statement, Roly Poly Jabal was beheaded, and they displayed his head in front of the temple of Amaquina until the moons turned 3 times. When the clerk named Jai stepped before Jabal's head, Jabal spoke with a mysterious look on his face. This is the story he told during the first lunar cycle. Once upon a time, when Jabal was still an old kitten, strangling chickens, crushing chicks, and breaking eggs meant nothing to him. It was all as nothing. Many years later, when Jabal became a young cat, strangling chickens became slightly cruel. Crushing chicks and breaking eggs was still as nothing to him. It was yesterday when Jabal was beheaded, and strangling chickens became cruel, and crushing chicks turned slightly cruel. But breaking eggs remained as nothing to him. Today, the birds will feast on Jabal's corpse, and there will be no more chickens, no more chicks, and no more eggs. Nothing is needed anymore, no chickens, nor chicks, nor eggs. Then the old kitten will be born again, and all that he has gained will be lost and gone. All will be as nothing once more. Clerk Jai turned pale when he heard this. He quickly chased away the birds flocking to Jabal's corpse, and ordered the guards to throw the corpse into the deepest, darkest rift of Anaquina. Then he turned to Jabal and said, "Now your conscience will not starve to death, and neither will it wither to nothing." Hearing this, Jabal laughed and laughed. It all ended the moment Jabal was headed. His conscience no longer bears fruit, and there is no one left to eat the fruit of freedom. And next, we continue with Jabal and the chicks. This being the story he told during the second lunar cycle. There are male and female chickens. Two types of chickens, one that lays eggs and one that does not. If you must decide which chicken to strangle, you usually strangle the male one. There are male and female chicks too. Two types of chicks, one that can lay eggs and one that cannot. If you must decide which chick to crush, you usually crush the male one. There are male and female eggs. Two kinds of eggs, one that will become female and one that will become male. But they are both round and roll around, so you cannot tell the difference. Strangling chickens is cruel. Crushing chicks is only slightly cruel. And breaking eggs is as nothing. We cannot change this anymore. That is why the cats no longer strangle the chickens but crush chicks instead. Truthfully, the cats want to break the eggs and yet they cannot, for the chicks break their own eggshells. And so we have no choice, absolutely no other choice but to crush the chicks. Clerk Jai said to Jabal, "What is that supposed to mean? There is a limit to everything." Hearing this, Jabal laughed and laughed. So chickens, chicks, and eggs have a limit too. Perhaps it is like the blue sky, too low for the cat to leap up to, and like a bottomless pit, too shallow for the cat to dive into. And then we have the story of Jabal and the eggs. This he told during the third lunar cycle. There are male and female eggs, but no one knows which will become which. The only thing known about them is that they can become either. That is why the cat warms the eggs until they become chicks. When the chicks hatch, the cat sorts them based on whether they are female or not. But no matter how careful the cat, some males will inevitably get mixed with the females. And such chicks become female-like male chickens. Yet they cannot go against their own sex, and one day they all crow out all at once. Then the cat can no longer sleep and forgets how to even land. And the cat's soul starts seeking the ground in an endless fall. Clark Jai turned around and ordered the guards to kill all the kittens born in the 3 lunar cycles. Jai then said to Jabal, "Now the cat's soul can dream in the winds of the endless fall." Hearing this, Jabal laughed and laughed. All is well with the world. All is well with the world. All is well with the world. A female-like male chicken is already crowing and loudly disturbing the sleep of all cats. And finally, we have the Book of Atatami. The dead Ife whispers in the cat's ears on dark, moonlit nights. Candles blow out. The smoke dances in the air and reveals the story hidden beneath the ghost moon. In the northeast of Anaquina, there used to be a wandering oasis. On nights when the moons were full, the inhabitants of that land would dress in yellow robes and venture out to the dunes carrying pails with them. They would chase the fleeing oasis into the moonlight, catching some of its water in the pails so that the oasis would never fully dry out. They had a rule. Once they caught some water from the oasis, they would never cover the pails with leaves. Only the moonlight reflected in the water in the pail should ever serve as its lid. And the place was called Payloon because of the cats who carried the moons in their pails. Once there was an orphan of an unknown birth there. He was no one, and so he could be anyone, perhaps even everyone. It was all the same to the Khajiit, so they called him Atatami. On a full moon's night, Atatami was following the clouds of rain to Payloon. On his way there, in the dunes where evil spirits wander, he was attacked by 3 of them. The first appeared to him in a blinding light. It was Meridnunda, the false spirit of greed. Atatami closed his eyes and shouted, "Begone! Begone, Meridnunda, you jealous light! Your light cannot pierce through my eyelids." Silent, Meridnunda shone for a while, but when she realized Atatami could not understand her, she left. Next there came a roar and a cloud of dust and sand. Meruns, the demon cat, was piling sharp sand around Atatami with his hind legs. Atatami closed his eyes, covered his mouth, and perked up his ears. Then the dead ether whispered to him, curl up, make yourself round like an egg." So Atatami curled up and rolled down the dune. Mirrans the demon cat saw this and left, as if he had had enough. The last one to appear was Molag. He was a pathetic cat who still couldn't break free of Azura's shackles. Yet still, he rolled to Atatami's side, hidden in the sandstorm Meruns left behind. Atatami covered his ears, for Molag's words were as sweet as sugar to him. Yet they only brought pain. But Atatami forgot to close his eyes, and he saw the movement of Molag's mouth. And so he heard Molag's voice through his eyes. At last, Molag blew his cold breath into Atatami's eyes and left, leaving behind only a red stone. Atatami picked up the red stone and held it up high to Azura to show her that he overcame his ordeal. However, Azura knew this to be a lie, and to punish Atatami, she rotated the eyes of the cat in the sky faster than Atatami could blink. He could only watch in horror as his limbs shriveled and his fur fell out. By the time Atatami could lower the stone, he was already ancient and worn out. Then Molag, who had left before, appeared again and brushed Atatami's lips 3 times. Atatami's lips trembled with fear and regret. The red stone disappeared then, and he was left only with the words which he uttered aloud. The fruit of the milk tree, the bloodshot pomegranate, the tender twins of gel. Atatami's eyes began to ripen then. Milky tears spilled from the eyes he could no longer close. And Hermora, who had been lurking under his eyelids, began to steal the secrets he had learned. But Hermora saw the fang marks of the gills in his eyes, and he hurriedly hid himself at Atatami's feet. Then Jabal, the great cat, crawled out of the wound, and he cut off his own hands as atonement to the gods. Milk flowed out of the wounds again, but now it was a flood that swept Paleun beyond the stars. there is no one more irreverent than you. Know that there is no light to shine upon you, said Azura. And she hid the eyes of the cat from Jabal. Darkness enveloped him as the lanterns of Joan and Jode winked out. Jabal cowered in grief, curling up like an egg, and rolled 8 times across the dunes of Namira. His path traced the secret of Lorcaj in the sand and pried open Fadame's lock. If only we could find our star, we would rejoice and exult. As Jabal muttered this, blue star came aglow in the darkness, and black scales of Alkan streaked across the horizon. And in the twilight, only Jabal's song and dance were true. The dim night began spreading, embracing Anaquina, and in that dim twilight, all was uncertain, except for Jabal. The king, who was not allowed to sing, carried the red moon to the highest dune with the help of Hircine the hungry cat, and the Krenya Rolla choir sang to Azura, so that the king's blade might reach everywhere. Jabal was the great cat leaping over the endless dunes. But the king's blade reached his neck easily and severed his head from his shoulders. Jabal's head flew through the air, shadowing the red moon and Shegarath last. The child of the unknown star is dead, and so shall you be unknown too. None of this will be known. While the king was distracted by Shegarath, Jabal vanished without a trace. All that was left was sand, ruins, and Atatami, who had been broken like a dead tree. The king licked the milk from Atatami's wounds and understood. He understood the meaning of the milk tree, that the pomegranate engorged itself on blood, and that the tender twins of Gel had been split. Thus, the king was trapped by the milk tree and could no longer wake from his dreams. But Jai the scribe feared Atatami, and at the end of the 3-moon cycle, he hunted down all the kittens in Anaquina. Now, only the dead Aoife remembers the tears Kenathi shed during that time. Well, there you have it, guys. Another fascinating insight into the surprisingly expensive lore of this mod collection. I'm sure you will agree. And I hope we're enjoying this one as we've concluded now all of Viken's content in our gaming live streams on the main channel as well. So hopefully this is all proving to provide a nice bit of insight. But that is all the insight we have today now. So let us finish by reminding you that if you have any requests or suggestions or ideas for what you would like us to read next on the channel, then let me know in the comments down below. But until next time now, everyone, stay cozy.